Well, as Pfizer's vaccine begins distribution, the FDA has assured the public that no corners were cut despite quickly granting emergency use authorization. Yet some Americans remain skeptical. So here to address safety concerns is our chief health editor, Dr. Nandi. And Doc, we've heard a lot of people actually saying they simply won't get the vaccine.
Yeah, and I get it, Alan. A lot of people are very anxious, right? And I'm hearing that from my patients, even from friends and family. But I can assure you this, that the FDA is not interested in cutting corners. They really haven't. And not only do they have top-notch scientists, they also consult an independent advisory committee, right, made up of leading experts. And I talked about that, I believe it was last week. The science is driving their decisions. And the science in this case, Alan, is based on a double-blind clinical study with 40,000 volunteers. So half got the vaccine, half got a placebo, and after analyzing the raw data, which is the original data, it showed that the vaccine has a 95% protection rate against COVID-19. That's really, really high. And then also that it's very safe.
You know, Doc, those numbers, they do look very impressive for sure, but there are still people who are worried that any long-term side effects may have been missed since those clinical trials have not been going on very long.
Yes, Alan, first of all, let me just say that if someone's going to have a bad reaction to a vaccine, right, it typically happens in the first few weeks. That's just what happens. As for long-term side effects, they're very rare. And so the timeline for the trials did take place right over several months, 2 to 3 months, which may seem short for some people, but in reality, it's roughly the same criteria used for other vaccines. And what some folks may not know is that health officials are constantly monitoring, right, for any adverse reactions, even for current vaccines that people are getting, like the flu vaccine. So it'll be the same for the vaccine for the coronavirus.
And Dr. Nandi, we know that the Pfizer vaccine is delicate due to the temperature control, obviously. Do you feel that it can be safely distributed?
100%. I think it can be, but it's a worry for some people. The Pfizer vaccine, as we now know, I think almost everybody knows now, has to be kept at a chilly minus 94 Fahrenheit. So that's super cold. In fact, it's now the coldest vaccine here in the US, but Pfizer has taken appropriate steps to protect their vaccine. They have special thermal containers filled with dry ice that keeps the interior temperature ultra cold for 15 days. Plus, both the CDC and the FDA, right, they're working together to make sure that shipments are handled appropriately so the vaccine doesn't lose its effectiveness. The bottom line is that you've got, please take my word, the FDA is doing everything it can to make sure things are safe, and we have to be able to get ahead of this virus. And the only way, to me, is to protect ourselves and get this vaccine.
Absolutely, for sure. And Dr. Nandi, real quickly here, you're going to be getting that vaccine shortly here. Have you been told your timeline of when you're going to be getting it?
No, as soon as I know, you'll be the second to know, Alan. So my wife will be the first, and then I will call you, and then I'll let you know how everything went.
All right, sounds good, Dr. Nandi. Thank you so much for joining us on this Monday.
My pleasure.
Carolyn?